Hi, good morning. Hi, this is Andrew Lalo Shudi, present. Hi, how are you? Affect your type 2 diabetes, and you wonder, wow, how true that is. Well, actually, there's quite a few study from both China, Hong Kong, and also in the United States, Europe. Okay, so basically, we're going to talk about how air pollution really increase your risk of type 2 diabetes. You might say, how can it be? Well, it is true. It is a fact that is happening. So today we'll talk about, well, what is air pollution about and what are they measuring and how the global health impacting air pollution. And certainly we'll talk a little bit about type 2 diabetes because a lot of people not really understand type 2 diabetes, and this is a good time to further enhance your knowledge of type 2 diabetes. And then you're going to talk about the link between air pollution and the type 2 diabetes and how you really work on things to reduce your personal risk and how sort of how low sugar can help. And really, at the end of the day, this is kind of eye opener for you because when I start reading a lot of stuff and I start, wow, gee, I didn't know air pollution actually do also affect your potential risk of diabetes, and so you got to start watching. And so this is going to be a really fantastic webinar for you. And certainly we'll talk about what is pollution, first of all, why we're so need to understand air pollution. Now, pollution is basically talk about harmful pollutants that is in the atmosphere, including gases, particles, biological molecules, which is impact both human health and environment. So where did this thing came from? Coming from cars, emission, train, bus, plane, trucks, industrial process, power plant, oil refinery, industrial facility, agriculture, wood burnings either in the city or the forest, doesn't matter. Natural dust, volcano, wildfire, indoor tobaccos, stove heating, electric from fossil fuel. Give you one good example. That was because I used to manage the entire Asia Pacific for quite a few international companies, including Baxter, BD, Abbott. And I used to go to Indonesia to basically understand, to make sure that they're doing well with our business. And so with Indonesia, there's several major volcanoes that exploded, and including Philippines also. And when there, wow, I have a hard time breathing. Basically, the volcano ashes came out, literally cover the sky just like this. That is how dense it is, and basically after that you really have a hard time breathing. And this is like 5 miles away from the volcano, but in the Jakarta area and all the places that in the surrounding, you can't breathe. I mean, it's hard time breathing, so I have to put a mask on. And boy, I mean, this is really very quickly understand what is air polluting can do to your health. So this is something that maybe people in Hawaii might not experience. I think you do, though. You have volcano there, and also in Los Angeles, for example, car polluted. So boy, that is really can be affect your breathing. And certainly a way how to measure the pollutant is by particular meters. It basically measure the PM 2.5 to PM 10. And certainly there's also gases like nitrogen oxide, sulfur dioxide, and ozone. So all these are measurement scale for you to understand pollutant. But just for your information, 2021, 99% of world population are living in an area which is WHO say, well, the air quality guidelines are not met. Now, this is very true. And that's why the European country, China, and certain many United States also, I think they're trying to do that. But how fast you can do it is so important. And at the end of the day, there are 4.7 million people died in 2021 because of exposure of fine particular outdoor air pollution, which create this issue. They died. And this is mainly on the Africa and West Asia. But I must say, though, if you get all these pollution come out and people really get different kind of lung disease, they keep really suffering because you can't breathe. Or you get, excuse me, allergy like me, I would start sneezing a lot. Like today, the air is a little more polluted, particulates, fine polluted. And I've realizing, hey, I would have get all these allergy. And that's exactly what happened. And some people really, at the end of the day, because of these, the death is become increasing. Like, for example, COPD, chronic obstructive pulmonary disease. Now, as you remember, I'm an ICU nurse, and I took care of quite a bit of this patient. And of many of these patients, they really had time breathing. They look really like a typical person, but you can see they can't breathe because all their lung have so many scar tissue, or their lower respiratory infections like pneumonia, or because of the pollutant, they create issues for the lung. And they have also heart disease, which is ischemic heart disease. They can have a stroke. All these are percent of death of each of these diseases. That's really high. Imagine COPD 48%. And also you have a tracheal bronchitis or lung cancer, 19%. And then certainly I want to talk a little bit more. You're going to have diabetes, 18%. And also then neonatal disorder. So really at the end of the day, you have tremendous amount of risk for air pollution that create a high percent of death. So let's talk about, diabetes type 2 then, to better understand. As you know, the body really need insulin to get the sugar into the cells. And really 95% of the type 2 diabetes, basically, there are two types of diabetes, right? The first is type 1 and second is type 2. And 95% of diabetes is type 2, which including people who really, they don't have enough insulin, or they have insulin resistant, and because of their overweight, and they are not controlling the diet, and also they have a very sedate type lifestyle. In other words, they don't move much. They just sit in the chair, watch a lot of TV, and they don't move a lot. And that result of that, their blood sugar will continue goes up. Now, today I notice we have a lot of people here I do not know, and they're probably from the United States, from Asia, from Canada. So I would like to just give you an idea real quickly in a couple of minutes, what the 4 stage of diabetes. Now, everybody pretty much go through this. The first stage of diabetes is called LDL, which is the bad cholesterol, goes up, and it damages the B cell, which is the pancreas come out of the B cell, and the B cell supposed to take sugar to the cell. So the B cell are being damaged by the LDL cholesterol. So more B cell come up, it doesn't work. The blood sugar continue goes up. So that result, the blood sugar are circulating a lot in the bloodstream. So your LDL cholesterol and blood sugar mixed together, the problem gonna come. The blood become very thick. When the blood becomes thick, plaques will form in each of the vessels, and very quickly you move to stage 2. The vessel, and you have all these plaques coming on the vessels are formed throughout the whole body now. And then you have less space in the vessels, so net result, blood pressure goes up. Now, at this stage, you don't have any sign and symptom. You will not know what happened, why this, you will have no idea. So you continue, stay in the same lifestyle. Very quickly, you move to stage 3, which is you go into a pre-diabetic stage. And every doctor measure the same for you to understand you are really a pre-diabetic. They measure a hemoglobin, which is a red blood cells, where they measure the percentage of sugar attached to this hemoglobin. Like, for example, the hemoglobin is 5.7. So you're normal. Anything below 5.7, you're good. If you are over 5.7 to 6.4% now, you are a pre-diabetic. Now, unfortunately, pre-diabetic, you have no medication to take to lower that stage. You basically need to change your lifestyle, your diet, exercise, your weight. And so net result, a lot of these people will have no idea what to do, and they have no much motivation to do that. So they are continued lifestyle. Now, there's one thing that help you though. If you drink low sugar tea, you can basically continue maintain this blood sugar or help you to drive this blood sugar back down to 5.7. So net result, you continue to be healthy rather than put yourself to a pre-diabetic stage. If you even your diabetes, they can also bring it down to below 6.4 to go down to 5.7 stage. So low sugar tea can really help you. However, if you don't do anything, you don't diet, you don't exercise, don't lower weight, you know what? In about 2 to 4 years or so, or 3 years, you'll end up to convert to the stage 4, which is diabetes. Now, once you become a diabetic, you're a diabetic forever in the record. You will not actually get, the insurance go up, everything goes up, okay? So really, you don't want to get yourself into a diabetic stage. You want to continue be even below or pre-diabetic stage, or go back to normal 5.7. And that's the most important. Now, I will give you why people measure A1C, because they give you a 3 month average of your blood sugar. So as I mentioned, if you're 5.7, or you in Hong Kong, it will be 6.5. There's a British system, 6.5 millimole per liter. You're in a good stage. If you are between 5.7, 6, and 4, as I mentioned earlier, then or maybe 6.5, 7.6 millimole per liter, so you are pre-diabetic stage. Anything above that, you are actually become a diabetic. So as you move on a little higher and higher, like your A1C is 8.5, now you're going to 10.9 millimole per liter in Hong Kong. Now that is, and in typical measurement is 197 milligram per dil. That will make you a actual diabetes. So anything beyond 6.5, you are a diabetic. So you gotta be actually go below 6.4% as an A1C measurement. And the whole world is the same. Everywhere measure that. So you got to continue to strive for that's your actual target, A1C below 6.4. Okay? Okay. Now, what is the early sign warning of type 2 diabetes? Okay, you might say, hey, I don't know. I have no feeling. Now, that's really true, because a lot of people in the pre-diabetic state, they have no sign symptom. But once they start getting to diabetes, they start getting to have some of the symptom coming. Many of them will have increased thirst, dry skin, blurred vision, their fatigue, the tingle hands and feet feeling. Now, the dry skin are very prominent because usually the leg has become very dry, and because the circulation become poor, so the leg become very dry. Now, also the increased itchy, yeast infection, especially lady, very hungry even after eating a lot, hungry very fast. You have numbness, because you know why they're numbness? Because it damaged the nerve. So you have numbness. And then you also have one more very frequent is frequent urination. You go urinate a lot. And you have also the sore in like the feet, lower extremity. It doesn't heal. It heals very, very slow. So these are the early signs of type 2 diabetes. Now you got to really, once you get some of these signs, you better go see the doctor to monitor where you're at. Because you don't do that, you're going to end up with all kind of type 2 diabetic complications. Like, for example, you're going to have potentially a risk, loss of conscious and memories. If you have eye problem, you have blurry vision, cataract, because of the fact that the blood vessels are full of sugars and cholesterol, it start blocking the eye nerving system and also vessels. So you will see the blood in your eye, you will see the vessels are all forming everywhere because they block. So it will damage your eye, you will start getting blurry, cannot see. And your pancreas is damaged, so you don't have enough insulin. So you gotta inject insulin. The worst that you involve your heart, you block your heart coronary artery, and you might end up with heart disease, that you might actually die of heart attack if you didn't take care of it. And you certainly have high blood pressure, it damages your blood vessel, our vessels become very hardened. The worst that you don't know, you have nerve damage, and you don't feel because we don't know, and you have all kind of intestinal problem, also sexual problem because you don't feel. So you have become a sexual dysfunction, meaning that you don't feel anymore, so you can have sex. If the wound not heal, you might end up with amputation. The worst that you got damage your kidney, and kidney need dialysis. Boy, that's terrible. You need to kidney dialysis is terrible, okay? Because you don't want to go to dialysis, 3 times a week in a hospital. I mean, that's no fun. And plus, you have pregnancy complication, meaning that you are gestation diabetic. You might get well. Future, you might actually have become diabetic. Now, the natural risk of type 2 diabetes, like you might be obesity, and lots of people will have type 2 diabetes because they're just obese. When you lower 10% your weight, you know what? You minus 1 point of your A1C, meaning that if your A1C is 8, you minus 10% of weight, you are 210 pounds, now 200 pounds, you end up with have an A1C of 7. And so forth and so forth. So you got to continue to strive yourself to really lower your weight. The best is you cannot have your weight or BMI over 23. That would be wonderful. I know it takes effort. It takes time. The other risk is your family history. Now, this is, again, this is very, very true. If your mother has diabetes, most likely you might have, or your father have, you might have, or uncle. So you got to watch that family history, make all the different. Age is also very, if you're 45 older, chances you have diabetes is also high. Plus, if you have high cholesterol, high blood pressure, most likely you can also have a high risk of diabetes. Now, a lot of people don't even know sleep apnea is also a high cause of diabetes. Well, sleep apnea is when you have a very thick and fatty neck area, your trachea is here, and your tongue suddenly just starts slowly relax and drop on and cover your airway. So net result, you are not breathing properly. Your blood gas will go down. I mean, your O2 status go down. Net result, it affects your brain. And eventually, if you continue this way, you might even have stroke. Okay, so that's why sleep apnea always drive your blood pressure, and is going to be an issue, and then your potential stroke. So also a risk factor of type 2 diabetic, because most likely you must be a very chubby, and so when you have control of sleep apnea, actually control your diabetes become further getting worse. Okay. And then if you are a person that you are really just don't move much, I watch TV all the time or doing computer all the time. So as a sedative lifestyle person also has a big risk. Now, why low sodium help? Because low sodium basically has 2 things in there. One, it has guava leaves, which help to delay absorption of sugar into the cells. So you have less sugar into the cells. And then secondly, it's very important. This is a bitter melon. A bitter melon actually increase the insulin sensitivity. In order to get the insulin back to take sugar back to the cell, so you have more cell now can use the sugar as a fuel. Now, the wonderful thing is they have excess excess sugar and blood cholesterol. Bitter melon will able to don't make these items reabsorb to the body. They will dump that off in the urine. They also dump off salt in the urine. So sugar, cholesterol, LDL, and also salt will dump off urine. So when salt dump off, your blood pressure comes down. So your 3 high will definitely come down: sugar, cholesterol, and blood pressure. Wow, that would be wonderful, isn't it? So besides that, we're not only asking you, well, just drink tea, because really that's not enough. Importantly is I have to empower you to basically have the knowledge, understand, and motivate yourself all the time why I have to drink the tea, and why I have to do other things to make sure I have exercise, weight control. So we have 5 programs teach you how to give you a healthy blood sugar level and cholesterol level. One is you have to drink low sugar tea 6 to 8 times per day, lower blood sugar level, bad cholesterol. And so this will teach you how to take a low carb diet, low fat diet. We'll teach you how to exercise. You do 8 to 10,000 steps a day, or go to a step master do 30 to 45 minutes a day with a barbell. Just go like this. And every day you do this. You know, it's so simple. You watch TV with that. And is that wonderful? You will lose your weight. And your weight will be able to lose it to below 23. And certainly we have Dr. Webinar. You can basically listen every day, every week. It's free. We have 330 YouTube webinars already in the YouTube under loushuti.com. So you can able to look at it, or cet.com, I think. So do look at that, and then you can also understand what to do. And plus, we have a tracking program. You can able to track your blood sugar, cholesterol, and also your exercise, the step, the food you eat. So it's a system you can always review, understand what you are. So we hope that we can always drive an A1C below 5.7, and that is our task. So you may ask now, say, gee, how can air pollution, really hook up with my type 2 diabetes? What's the link? What is the link? Okay. Yeah, when I actually start thinking about this lecture, I also ask myself, what is the link? I not quite understand either. But then I start doing research and start realizing, wow, air pollution actually affect your endocrine system. And what that means is your pancreas, all that will be really affected. Because what happened is, remember the beta cell is supposed to take sugar to the cell, right? So what air pollution does is actually drop the beta cell function. You're harming your liver and all the liver issue, muscle, and what it does is it impair the insulin action taking sugar to the cell. So increase insulin resistance. That is the big problem, okay? When you're less insulin, that means less sugar to the cell, so your blood sugar can go up. So pancreas is become affected by just pollution, dropping the A beta cells, the B cell function. Remember the B cell we talked about? And also another thing too is because it affects your endocrine system, increase the oxidation stress, leading inflammation of the entire body central nervous system. So studies show that in China, which involved 400 participants, that's a big population. So definitely its results seems to be real. When it exposed to high level fine particulate, like, for example, air pollution, you see the sky become kind of yellowish. Remember, it was all fogged up. And so that means that the particular measure is 2.5 micron, and it's linked to, when you have more and more, it actually linked to risk of the normal blood sugar level in diabetes, because it damaged the B cells, right? So the blood sugar goes up. And so because of that, you get a high mortality rate because people cannot breathe. They become CAPD or so they COPD, and they actually end up potential the lung being damaged. So just now what we just show you, all that disease you can actually cause heart, lung, and so forth, and they actually die, maybe even relate to people with lung cancer. And in US and also EU also show same thing. If you're exposed to more than 2.5 PM 2.5, you have 8 to 10% increase of diabetic risk. And it's really a strong correlation, especially to women. So the data looks like it is true that really pollution can increase the chances of diabetes and get you worse. Now, the people mostly affected are definitely people living in the country, city side, in the city, not the country, the city. Because in a dense city, you have pollution, and then you are breathing it, you're going to hurt you. The second one is a lot of time people living in a low income community. A lot of very crowded, limited access to healthcare, and so net result, these people will also be affected. Also, people with a pre-existing condition, like they have heart disease already, there is a COPD condition, or elderly, which is children and elderly person. So all these people really can be affected, will be affected. So really at the end of the day, how do you decrease this personal risk of you having pollution that affect you for diabetes. And so how can you prevent that? So really the first thing is reduce your own exposure. So if really the place is overly polluted and there's a lot of smog out there, a lot of fog, so what you gotta do is limit your outdoor activities. When air pollution is high, you want to basically not to get close to these air pollution sources. So especially when you travel, you go to a country with high air pollution, like India, for example. Wow, you gotta really look at all the traffic around. You can smell the gas. So you want to make sure that you don't want to go to those places, especially busy traffic time. So really reducing the risk of reducing exposure, really minimize the risk, reducing your exposure. So smog comes out, stay home. If you go to travel, busy places, a lot of traffic, well, don't go out at that time. Go to another lesser busy time. Now, secondly, you can use a mask, a 95 N95 mask, because that will cover pretty much all the air pollution particles. And also you can go to places with the better air quality. Now, certainly that really at the end of the day, some of people now even carry a small little device, which is called a portable air cleaner, whereby they will, take away all the small particles. Now, certainly you can open the window or get natural ventilation. That would be a good idea too. So in Hong Kong, you will see a lot of people carrying this little thing on the neck area, a little sort of look like a lipstick. That is the air cleaner, actually. And some of them actually works, but I don't know. I tried some and it did. I assume it's working, but I think that would be good because after that I have less allergy. So that's something you might need to think about. Now, also another thing, you got to help our whole world to get conserve energy. So in other words, you got to less energy, that's be less polluted. You got to less, electric company burning less gas to generate electric. So what you do is you got to be able to basically use, like for example, LED light bulb, where you like LED light bulb instead of 60 watts, they can do 5-6 watt. It's the same amount of energy, and it's not get heated. So it's really actually a very economic and also helping the environment. Also, like for example, you have to getting more energy efficient appliance, especially heating system, things like that. So you need to help the environment to burn less energy. And you close the light is so important, because turn up the light, because a lot of time we just left the light on. So if you turn it off and also change my light bulb, now quite a few lights in my office become now LED bulbs. So really the office become cooler, not hotter, because of the light. So net result of that, we also burn less energy to cool our air conditioning, to cool up the office. So that's another choice. So you also have to be aware the air quality. That's why now most of the news quality always say what's the air quality today, and so you can able to go out according to the air quality. Make sure that you don't always go to time that wow it's so polluted, right? And as far as you travel, it's the same thing, right? Go to time that is not very busy. So you also need to manage your respiratory condition. So ensure that you have make sure that you have masks, make sure you have proper gadget to give you better breathing, and plus a small little filter can be helpful. Also, you should modify diet, for example. Eat a lot more antioxidant and anti-inflammatory supplement, so you combat the oxidative stress. So that is important. And also keep track of medication. Make sure to take your medication regularly. And so that way you can also make sure that you reduce your personal risk of really get sudden high blood pressure, high blood sugar or so, or high blood pressure. And really, at the end of the day, controlling blood sugar is really one of the key elements that you need to keep for good health. So you can drink low sugar tea regularly. And really, at the end of the day, a lot of customers calling me now. They say, Andrew, I really your low sugar tea help me to basically lower my blood sugar and always keep me my blood sugar become lower than 120 or between 120 130 milligram per deal. So this is something that is really good. And when they test the A1C, they become seeing that A1C continue to drop down to like many of these people are 8 or 9 or 10, whatever. And it's like going down slowly, and now they become like only 6, and then they all below 6, 5. Between 5.7 6. So they're very encouraged to say, wow, gee, before I ate all these drugs didn't help, and now works. Okay. So you really have to also follow your diabetic plan meals. Make sure that it is really low carbs, low fat diet. And also why we actually give low sugar tea to give you basically 2 liters a day to drink. The reason is we want you to get enough hydration, dilute your blood, and able to excrete your sugars out. So that is very important. So when you not only reduce your sugar intake, you also increase water, diluted your sugar, and excreted urine. So you have less fluid circulating around, less sugar flowing around, and you also continue eating a healthy diet. So meaning more fiber, low carbs, and also a lot more fibers, a lot of vegetable, and low sugar, a low carb diet. Okay, so that way you are continue to control your sugar, and that result you will control your cholesterol. Wow, you'll be continually healthy. Isn't that great? So the benefit of low sugar tea really able to support you with better healthy blood sugar, cholesterol, and blood pressure level. That's for sure. So net result, your blood sugar go down, your blood pressure go down, your blood cholesterol down. That is what we're trying to achieve. So, in conclusion, air pollution is really a public health concern, whole world. Okay, and you can see why now China, I think they talk about 2030, most of the car will be electric. So you really eliminate many of the pollutant, the bus, the truck, the cars are all become electric. When you go there, and I notice now the sky become more blue now, no longer a yellowish color. So it is really, you can see the effect. And also you want to make sure the chronic exposure of the pollutant, which cause you systemic inflammation, oxidative stress, and insulin resistance. And this is one of the major factors that will contribute you to get yourself to progress to a type 2 diabetes. So when you want to get that exposure be limited, what you got to do is you have to make sure you don't go out when your sky is really gray, murky, yellowish, all polluted and floating around. You don't want to go out at that time. You want to go out with time that the sky is clear, and also don't go to busy, high traffic at that time. You smell all the pollutant. And so the study actually showed that pollutant actually do get you to increase a higher rate of type 2 diabetes, especially your children, elderly. That for sure, you really, especially have a pre-existing health condition, you really need to watch further, because that definitely pollutant will increase your higher risk to get into the type 2 diabetes or affect your health. Now, certainly too bad a lot of people have socioeconomic lower population. They tend to have more health issue, and because they're in an area which is maybe very crowded, very polluted, it really affect the health. So it definitely increase the health issue. Increase the health issue. Now, certainly we want to promote to get more air purify, avoiding high polluted area. And you really have to adopt a really good lifestyle, meaning you have to eat healthy. If you really polluted, you wear N95 masks, walk around. You might get a little a gadget to clean the air for your breathe. And then you have to continue help to combat air pollution and helping the environment, like using more LED light, which is lower heat, lower energy consumption, and also eat really also you have to turn up the light all the time, turn off the air condition, open the air window. Also make sure that you have to eat healthy, meaning that you have to eat all 1/2 all vegetable, 1/4 is just starch, which is you're gonna eat beans, tofu, and one is your lean protein, which is like fish, lean pork, not red meats. You have to exercise, walk 10,000 steps a day, and sleep well, and really lower your weight. And you do this kind of lifestyle change, you know what? You become healthy, you lower your 3 high, and also the pollution is not going to get you. So today webinar is kind of eye-opener for all of us. I think definitely for me, when I did that research, I said, wow, that is really affect us. So importantly to understand, wow, if air pollution does affect us, so you got to be really ready to make sure you do not continue to pollute the world, affect others and you at the end of the day. And if it is really polluted, you have to protect yourself. Wear masks, go out, not to go to very crowded places, and go not very busy time, and continue to live in a healthy diet. That will be really good for you. Thank you again, spending the time with us. Thank you. If you have any question, let us know, and do write to us at Andy, A-N-D-Y, at WAHFONG.com. Andy, A-N-D-Y, at WAHFONG.com. Or WhatsApp us as 852-6792-8891 or 852-6792-8891. WhatsApp us. So looking forward to see you next week. I think one of the week we will not have a lecture, I think on the 28th because of the Christmas holiday. So wish you guys a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Take care. Thank you very much again. Bye-bye.